Hi everyone, thanks for watching. In this quick presentation, I'm focusing on maps and globes in the school library collection. I will be using the collection program in schools by Marcia Mardis. I'll be covering the advantages, disadvantages, selection criteria, and how this impacts collection development in a real school library setting. Here's my outline of my presentation. Some advantages of having maps and globes in the school library is maps and globes are still important tools even in a digital age. The textbook points out that globes are the most accurate way to show Earth because they keep the true shape and distance of the continents without distortion. They're great for teaching big geographic ideas like hemispheres or latitude and longitude. Maps, on the other hand, are more detailed and easier to use for instruction. We can get physical maps, political maps, and historical maps. Plus, they're easier to display and compare. They also support spatial thinking, which is a big part of the social studies and science curriculum. Some disadvantages that Chapter 8 reminds us of is maps and globes also have some limitations. Globes can't show much detail and they take up a lot of space. They're also expensive, especially if a school wants to have more than one. Maps come with distortion. Anytime we flatten a globe, something gets stretched or shrunk depending on the project. And both maps and globes can become outdated fast when political boundaries change or new geographic information is updated, which is why maps and globes need to be updated every 5 to 7 years in a school library collection. In the selection criteria, it's important when selecting maps and globes for a school library to consider the following. You want to use clear and meaningful color coding that helps users understand information. You want to make sure that maps and globes are up to date and reflecting any current geographic and political changes. You want to make sure they're easy to read and use clear and understandable labels. You want to make sure that they are durable and are laminated or thick for frequent classroom or student use. Um, Often you want them to also be practical, where they could be laminated or put on walls for writing or erasing during instruction. And then also, finally, you want them to be visually appealing so that students and teachers are encouraged to use them. Some implications for collection development is that you want to maintain a balanced mix of maps, globes, atlases, and digital tools. The textbook recommends replacing maps and globes every 5 to 7 years or sooner if a major world change happens. A balanced collection might include one classroom globe per grade, a set of current student atlases, and a few reliable digital maps like National Geographic Mapmaker or Google Earth. Some copyright considerations. Maps count as cartographic works, so they're protected under copyright. US government maps are usually public domain, but most commercial ones are not, so we can't scan or reproduce them without permission. For digital platforms like Google Maps, we have to follow their reuse policies or give proper attributions. And my references come from the textbook, the collection program in schools, concepts, and practices. Thanks for watching. In my future library, I'll develop a map and globe plan that stays current, supports curriculum, and mixes print with reliable digital tools.